Hey everyone, in today's video, I want to give you guys my top 10 tips for building a gazebo, specifically from Purple Leaf, but honestly, these could apply to just about any gazebo that you might be building for your backyard. I've done a whole review and installation video more in depth on this gazebo, but this is going to be my top tips to help you guys have the easiest installation you possibly can up next. Just for some quick context for you guys, our particular gazebo is from Purple Leaf. This is a 15-foot by 13-foot hardtop gazebo. It comes with screens, curtains. We had this installed on a slab in our backyard, and this has been such a treat to just relax and enjoy during our summer. So I will say putting this gazebo together was a little bit challenging. It actually took several of us to do, and my hope here is with these tips, this helps speed things up for you guys, make things easier, and save you guys some time. So let's jump into the tips. So my first tip is review the checklists that come with each part or box of your gazebo and ensure that you have all the necessary pieces and that there's nothing missing. This is going to ensure that you are ready to build before you have several people come over to help. My next tip is you're going to want to make sure that you have a level, and you're going to use that when you are mounting all of the posts, when you are putting up the frame. You're going to want to make sure that your posts are plumb, your frame is level. If it's not completely level, you may have problems installing some of the roof pieces. They may not fit exactly secure because your frame is not going to be 100% level and straight. So you're going to take some extra time during that installation leveling everything off. That's going to make things easier down the road. My next tip for you guys is after you get everything inspected and unpacked, go ahead and lay everything out. Maybe it's in your garage, maybe it's somewhere in your yard. We actually took a day or two before the installation, unpacked everything, laid it all out in our garage. All of our particular pieces were lettered, and so what we did is we actually sorted everything alphabetically, and we tried to see in looking at the instructions if there were any parts we could pre-assemble in our garage so that we had less work to do during the actual day of installation. So our gazebo from Purple Leaf actually screwed completely together using Allen wrench screws. They included little Allen wrenches with the gazebo for installation, and to speed things up, I've got power tools. I would recommend you get yourself a drill or a driver and see if you can get some of those Allen wrench bits and just use some power tools to screw everything together. It's going to save you so much time. If you have other people coming over to help and you get multiple drills or multiple drivers, now you can have multiple people screwing things together. That's going to make things go so much quicker. Before you start any of the installation of your gazebo, I highly recommend that you check any type of codes or requirements for your city or your ordinance. In our particular instance, we had to pull a permit for our gazebo, and a requirement before pulling that permit is that it needed to be installed on some sort of a flat surface, such as a concrete slab. So we had a concrete slab poured on our property before we could actually get the permit for our gazebo. If you live in like an HOA, or if you may live in a special ordinance that's got special requirements, you need to check out all that information before you start construction. I'm interested to know, what are you guys going to use your gazebo for? Working, relaxing? Do you guys plan on having parties or entertaining in your gazebo? Let me know down in the comments section below. So in planning out when we were going to set this thing up, we actually planned a weekend, a Saturday, Sunday, to go ahead and do the installation. And during the summer here, those days were hot. So we found it was helpful to set up an easy up tent next to us. That also allowed us to put any pieces underneath it. One, so they wouldn't heat up in the sunshine. Two, they'd stay dry if we did get any rain while we were trying to do the installation. So having an easy up and putting some chairs out there, getting yourself some water, maybe some snacks, getting all that prepped while you're doing the installation is going to make things a lot easier, a lot more comfortable as you're doing all the work. Now, in my opinion, it's probably not the best idea to try installing a gazebo like this by yourself. My wife and I worked on setting this thing up, but we also called some friends and family over, and I think altogether we had at least 5 people working on the install. You probably don't need 5 people for the entire time, but where having all those people makes a difference is when you're doing the initial construction. So when you are setting up all the posts, when you are putting the horizontal frame and getting ready for the frame for the roof, having all those people there, you can have 1 or 2 people holding the posts while another person is screwing all the screws in. We had 2 people screwing screws in while somebody else was holding one of the horizontal beams, and 2 people were holding up the legs or the posts, and that just saved us a whole lot of time having all those people to set all that up. Now, I would recommend you study the instructions of your gazebo before you actually go out and start doing the installation. This is going to help you learn what you need to do for the installation. For our gazebo, where it's 15 by 13 and the length is different than the width, we had different roof pieces. So we needed to ensure ahead of time, before we started the construction, that we had those sorted and that we were putting the right-sided roof pieces on the right sides, so we weren't putting the longer sided pieces on the short sides. So just kind of studying all that information up front is going to help you later on save some time. So when we got to installing the roof pieces, the other thing I would recommend with Purple Leaf in their instructions, they say starting in the middle of each side, start installing the roof pieces and working your way towards the outsides. I would definitely recommend doing that. But then when you're putting the screws in, it's helpful to have one person on the top of the roof while another person is holding, say, the nuts for the screws on the bottom of the roof. So having two people help with that. But then the other thing is when you're putting those screws in, keep everything loose. You can put the screws in so that it holds things together, but you're going to need to shimmy them, you're going to need to slide them around to make everything fit, to get them under the frame and all that. So keep all your screws loose until you've got everything in and put together, and then go back, tighten all your screws. So I would highly, highly recommend that if you're putting one of these gazebos together, you anchor it down. This particular gazebo came with 1/4 inch by 3 inch anchor bolts. And that's what was recommended to be used with the instructions. We could have used those. I actually went to the hardware store and I bought some beefier ones, some 3/8 by 3 inch wedge bolts, and those worked great. But you don't have to do that. That was just a decision I made. Sometimes we get some very severe weather here in Wisconsin, severe thunderstorms. I mean, we've even had tornadoes and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that this thing was anchored down good. I've talked to some other people that have just used sandbags and stuff to anchor it down. I would not recommend that. I think you guys should really consider bolting it down somehow, using some sort of anchor bolts, wedge bolts, things like that. And I appreciate you guys watching this far into the video. You know what? I got 2 more bonus tips for you guys, and comment the word gazebo down in the comments section below to let me know you made it this far. There's a lot of moving parts to this gazebo. You got everything from the posts, the frame, the roof pieces. It can be frustrating. I know for us it was helpful to take some breaks, to take a step back and just kind of think things through, and essentially doing all that preparation ahead of time was definitely helpful as well. So I would highly recommend that you do a lot of prep work before going through the installation. It's going to just help you out a lot. And finally, you're going to have a lot of cardboard left over from all these boxes that your gazebo was shipped to you in. My dad has a garden, and they actually used that and laid that down for liner to keep the weeds out in between all of their vegetable plants and stuff. So just a tip, if you got all this extra cardboard and you didn't want to recycle it, you can also use it as some sort of a weed barrier for garden landscaping, stuff like that as well. So that's something that we did that may work for you. Hey, if these tips have helped you out, take a second, smash that like button. You can hit that subscribe button as well. I do weekly tutorial do-it-yourself project videos on this channel. If you want to check out the whole installation and review video that I've done on this Purple Leaf gazebo, that'll be linked down in the video description. You can definitely check that out as well. My name is Jeff, and I do appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to make every day awesome, and I will see you guys in the next video.